verification before reporting.
About individuals rightly or wrongly have led to the death of many or destruction of their reputation. For the print media, journalists should always endeavor to cross-check information before reporting, as the same information is bad. Or information that is maliciously used is destructive. I strongly appeal to all.
Welcome to news. Thank you so much for staying with us. For some entertainment stories, Nicki Minaj's husband Kenneth Perty has finally registered as a sex offender in the state of California following his arrest last week in Los Angeles. Kenneth Perty, who was arrested for failing to register as a sex offender in California, pleaded not guilty to the charges that ensued after being arraigned before Los Angeles County Supreme Court. Barely a day after the charges against him were dropped following his appearance in court, Nicki Minaj registered as a sex offender. That's all from this evening. Over now to sports, where we have Ibrahim standing by. Good evening, Ibrahim.
Good evening, Esther. Nigerian-born Israel Adesanya retained his Ultimate Fighting Championship middleweight title. Unanimous points decision win by Olympic medalist Yoel Romero of Cuba at UFC 248 in Las Vegas Sunday morning. In a tactical contest that lacked much of the excitement many fans anticipated, 30-year-old Adesanya, who represents New Zealand, repeatedly struck the 42-year-old Romero with powerful leg kicks to take victory on the scorecard. The bout started almost at a complete standstill, with Romero starting in the middle of the octagon, holding a high guard. The style of the Cuban, who won silver at the Sydney 2000 Olympics freestyle wrestling, clearly puzzled Adesanya, who struggled to find any openings.
Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Welcome on the show. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Blake. I'm calling from Benin.
I've got a lot of blessing calling me today. All right, blessing, go ahead.
So what you said just now about you said the husband does not approve the woman in the kitchen and home. For me, hello?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Let me just say 2 days ago, I was in the kitchen and I had new baby and a little son. I asked my husband to take care of the baby. So what did I marry you for? Cook? Are you not cooking? This part I come and carry the baby. I think you should carry the baby. He said, no, you are the woman. You are the one that's supposed to take care of the baby. You are the one that's supposed to do this one. That is what I just want to contribute for.
Okay.
Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Fortune, calling from Benin.
I didn't get the name.
Fortune, sir.
Fortune, Mrs.
Yes,
Is it Miss or Mrs.?
Miss.
Okay. Fortune, welcome on the show. What do you want to say?
Thank you so much. I just want to chip in a few points. Firstly, about getting to appreciate your wife. Very, very essential to do that. Because we ladies, we actually move by what we see. We are emotional beings. So the little things you do to appreciate us goes a long way. You can't go wrong about getting to appreciate your.
Hello, good evening. Okay. Dividend.
Yes, that's my name.
Okay, dividends. Go on.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that I'm listening to what is going on. A good wife keeps a good home. I mean a good home. That's my comment, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Dividends.
Hello, good evening.
Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, sir.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Mr. Osaiti. I'm calling from Itemire.
Welcome on the show, Mr. Osaiti.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Let's hear
I want to say, women some of them, they lost all, some of that very kind, some of that sharer, some of that special. Ever since I knew God, in the Bible, book of Proverbs 19, I think the book of Proverbs was saying that property, heritage, the Bible was saying that property and every other thing are heritage from parents. The Bible says good wife is from God.
Yes.
So ever since I'm married in the year 2015. I found out that there are some women that are so kind, they are so caring, and they're very lovely. Like my wife, ever since I got married to my wife, as a when it comes in terms of money, she is a cook, she do sell food. Therefore, when she start cooking, all the money she made from that food, from when she start cooking the food, the one she needs to give the money. And anytime she needs something, I will give her from the money also. And as anything I need from her, she always do it for me. When I ask her that, why are you so submissive? Why do you always submit to me? Why do you always submit to me whenever I'm asking something? He said the reason she's submitting to me, he said the reason she always do whatever I ask her to do is because when she's not working, when she has been, anytime when she's not working, or anytime they pay me salary, they pay me through account. She's the person that who got married. She's the person that's always owing my ATM. So whenever she wants to make use of money, she always go to my account and withdraw. Whenever she wants to make use of money. So when she started working, like she said, because the good I've been doing to her, that is why she always gives me her money whenever she said. The anytime she wants to benefit, she asked me to give her. So I also say that once well, you know, Bible says she loves your wife and wants to be submissive to you. But also, when you are trained to your wife, when you do your wife good, your wife will also do the same thing. But whenever you treat your wife bad, you know, when you treat him bad, you can hear it. When women will treat a man bad, their whole bad will be more severe than the way you treat him.
Okay, Mr. Saiti, you know, Mr. Saiti said he gave, you know, before she started working, he gave or gives her his ATM. Now, once there is that kind of what's the right word I should use, Jim? Not honesty, like trust. She won't hesitate. She will have no problems whatsoever giving you herself and everything she's got. Okay? The women that complain are women who either they don't trust their husbands or their husband don't trust them. In a home or a relationship where there's trust on all fronts, financial, emotional, every front where there's trust, it is possible that, you know, once there's trust, it's easy. It's easy. It's very easy. But a lot of
trust is built. Trust is built over time.
But you know, you can crumble in one day.
One day is too long.
Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, sir.
What's your name and where are you calling from, sir?
My name is Gideon. I'm calling from South Road, Benin.
Okay, Mr. Gideon, welcome on the show.
Hello, sir.
I can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Mr. Gideon. Can you hear me? All right. Gideon, you will need to call back. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
Peter, I'm calling from Buboa.
Mr. Peter, welcome on the show. What can I do for you today?
I'm enjoying your show.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, I just want to contribute.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, I think basically a man who makes a lot of money is the man that may find it very, very interesting to be giving his wife extra money. If you take a man who is working, for example, for 30,000 naira a month, you discover that the man doesn't even have enough for himself and normal family upkeep. Such a person is not going to find it funny. You see, many times men
don't find it difficult to release money to anybody. When it comes to releasing money, it's a man thing. But when the money sometimes is not enough, when I mean money is not enough, he can't even do some basic things for himself, that he rules himself out.
Yes.
And puts family first. That's what very many men do.
I know what you're talking about.
The man may not have the extra to give to his wife.
Yes.
And that's why many times, majority of men don't give their wife extra money. They won't do that if the money is not available.
Mr. Peter,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Now, in such situations, most women are also aware of his financial state.
Okay.
When a woman knows the financial state of a man and knows that he's spending even what he doesn't have, most such women will not demand an extra. But some of these women, they know that the husband is capable. I'm not saying the women should demand it. You see, that's where a lot of people are making a mistake in this conversation. I'm not saying the women should demand. When you demand it, then it doesn't make any sense. It's what the men should on their own, okay? But when you are spending up to the last dime that you have, your wife also is aware of that.
Okay.
The woman is aware of that. She knows. So in such a case, if she's expecting you to do more than you can, then she's not being fair. But you understand? But we're talking about women whose husbands, take for an instance, some of them, they will spend on extracurricular activities, outside. Some of them will have side this and side that, and they spend this money. Now when they come home, that's Jim. Okay. No, listen, Jim. You cannot, you cannot put yourself in that. You cannot put yourself in that situation. Some women. We're not talking about women who are putting, unnecessary stress on their husbands. I'm talking about, Jim, I know the kind of husband you are to your wife. I told you last week, okay, and now I know you, and if you're at fault, it is my place to bring you to caution, okay? But not many men have an authority figure in their lives that can bring them to question. It is a blessing when you have somebody who can tell you you're not doing this right. It is a blessing that most men don't have, okay? Let's put that on the one hand. And then you can't say, do you know how many women deal with cheatings in their relationships? Some of these men will give to the ladies outside what they will not give to their wives. You understand? They will give to the ladies outside what they won't give to their wives. So we're not even going to go into, the area of cheating. We're just saying from the angle of being appreciative to your wife, saying thank you. And then when you have the finance, fine, cool. I know that he may not have the finance like every month, but when you do have, when something comes in and you can spare an extra change, when you leave her with something, it makes her, you don't know how it makes her feel when you've walked away.
Dr. Onsa, yeah, that sounds fair enough. And I also pointed that out earlier. When the buck is extra, there is nothing bad in spoiling your wife, in spoiling her, with money and all that, to get whatever she wants to get. Okay? Now, I, for one, I do not give monthly allowance.
Okay, now let me hold you. Let me hold you. I am still okay. Your voice is low. That's what people are saying.
Oh,
I'm
me?
still yes.
Okay.
I'm still not talking about okay a monthly allowance, but when there is change, Mrs. Jim, when there is change, does he do it? Your husband, yes.
He does. He don't. He's not used to this monthly allowance.
No,
But
I'm
I
not saying.
ask for, let's say, 10,000. He gives me 15,000.
Okay, so what are we not talking about? How does that make her feel? No, Jim, no, you can't. No, okay, I need you to be objective. Okay, she's a woman. You can't know how it makes her feel. Have you ever asked her, how does this make you feel?
No.
Okay, so maybe if you do have that conversation with her, knowing how she feels when you step up and make her feel important. That's all I'm trying to let the men understand. I'm not trying to say, you should start, a routine. You should start giving your wife, extra money. No, I'm saying, do you know how it feels when you see a nice dress somewhere and you buy it and you say, my dear, for you. Do you know how it makes her feel? Okay, when you see a nice watch somewhere and you're like, I think this will sit nice on my wife. Do you know how it makes her feel? Okay, not just one way now. I'm talking about even the husband, even the wife to the husband. Do you know how it makes humans feel when they are appreciated? What most women lack in their relationships is not money. I may be wrong, okay? So the phone lines are open. Call in and tell what most women feel like they lose in their relationship is appreciation. Like some of them just feel that they are, Mr. James, some of them feel like slaves.
That's a bad place.
Some of them, there's a bad place to it's a really, really bad place to be. Some of them, they feel like, what's the reason why I'm even here? You understand? Some women who have dealt with extramarital affairs with their husbands and things like that, they stay. If you ask some of them, it's how he makes her feel in his good days. Okay, when it's how he made her feel. But some women are willing in a jiffy to get out of the relationship. If that was an option, some women would take it this minute. Why? Because they feel like they are being used in a relationship. They just feel like I'm just a piece of object. I'm just a piece of object. I'm not being. And when a woman gets to that point, she can be miserable. Now, when your wife is miserable, it becomes a source of constant quarrels, misunderstandings, back and forth with each other. So all I'm trying to do with these conversations that I'm having on radio right now is to get the men to actually take a second look at their at their wives. Like, just take a second look. Okay, you don't have to do it today. You don't have to do it next week. But just take a look at her and then have that conversation. Like, okay, so are you really happy with me? Are you really happy? And if you would allow her to be herself, because sometimes we ask these questions and then when they come up and air their views, we're like, okay.
So you say, no, so you go. You see you?
Exactly.
You see your life?
Exactly.
That was I have to go.
Hello, good evening. Let me take this last call. Hello, good evening.
Good evening. My name is Amos. I'm calling from jail.
Mr. Amos, welcome on the show. Let's hear you. 30 seconds.
Okay, I just contribute. I think it goes beyond money. It's all about, for me, for my wife. I've actually gone through a very, very tough time in my life. Before I thought, the marriage is more of a money-driven kind of marriage love. But through our tough time, I appreciated my wife more because she never nagged, she never complained, and God has actually restored us. And I now discovered that what my wife actually wants is just for me to appreciate her more. When I come back, she has taken care of the children, washed all my clothes, prepared food. All she just wanted is my love, thank you. In fact, now, I imagine myself, how would I cope with this one? It's difficult. You know, we don't pray for any bad things. I've had friends that have lost their wife. I can't imagine. I would die without this woman. Thank you.
That was emotional.
Okay, we're going to take a break. Hi, my name is Dr. Nusa, the host of Onboarding, the live show. I'm going to need your support to keep the show going. If you would love to help us stay on air, please call this number 080-5847-5402. You can issue a check in favor of Onboarding, that is spelled UNBURDEN, or pay into the UBA account. The account number is 101-945-0121. Thank you very much.
Unburden your fears.
Isn't it amazing how life is one thing and then in an instant it becomes something else?
Unburden your sorrows.
How am I supposed to decide this?
Unburden your troubles.
Someone just talk to me, please. Just help me.